everything. And also, I officially welcome you to this segment. That's the news recap, where we go through the day's previous top news stories into the world of business. And we are going to start it off from African agriculture and security, as agriculture is in a phase of rapid commercialization. That's in Africa. President Yoweri Museveni, during a graduation of cadets in South Sudan, he said that there are 4 sectors that are key for economic development, and that is the services, ICT, agriculture, industry, and of course accompanied with quite other industries. He encouraged the South Sudanese to put core of these 4 sectors. Let's have the details of the report.
The president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, left for Juba in southern Sudan for a one-day official visit. He attended the graduation of the first batch of the necessary unified forces of the Republic of Southern Sudan, as Uganda being one of the guarantors of the Southern Sudan peace deal. In his remarks at the graduation, he emphasized the need for commercial agriculture, ICT, industry and services for the growth of the economy.
What are the interests of the people? We don't care what tribe you are, what religion you are, but you define the interests of the people, which are the same. Where does money come from? From commercial agriculture. If you grow crops for food and for money, that is wealth. Industries, services, ICT, that's where wealth and jobs, are there.
According to data from African Region Sustainable Report, across Africa, south of the Sahara, agriculture is the predominant sector in the economies of most countries, accounting for between 30 to 40% of the gross domestic product. The sector is a leading source of jobs for over a third of the Africa's population. Most of the African leaders therefore want to galvanize action and forge new partnerships that can help Africa to achieve a vibrant farm economy that contributes to more growth. But to achieve this, climate change mitigation should also be put on the forefront in Africa. On 29th this week, Africa Climate Week 2022 was hosted in Gabon. The event was organized by the UN Climate Change in collaboration with the global partners to explore resilience against climate risks.
Son Excellence Monsieur Ali Bongo Ondimba, Président de la République, Chef de l'État. Excellencies, please welcome His Excellency Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of the Republic, Head of State.
Work we will undertake here at Climate Week. It should inspire us and remind us that every nation in Africa and around the world can and must be part of the solution, because there are many opportunities and it's not just doom and gloom. With eyes on Africa, we are here today to take a step forward together. We are here to unite in the common cause of climate action. We are here to forge new partnerships and fortify existing ones.
But for sustainable commercial agriculture in Africa, peace has to be a focal need.
From today, you are not the military wing of any of the parties to the conflict.
Pedson Mumbere, Smart 20.
That's regarding African agriculture and security, as President Yoweri Museveni urges the South Sudanese to put emphasis on 4 aspects that are very key for economic development, and that is industry, ICT, services, and of course commercial agriculture. Not just agriculture, but commercial agriculture. So that's what is really happening, really that side. And now let's cross over to the Wanseko-Panyuma ferry. We are talking about the Albertine region, as the suspension of Wanseko-Panyuma ferry has affected the businesses around that area. The Albertine Nile ferry that links districts, that's of Bulisa, has been suspended for months to what has been alleged as the rising water levels. The suspension left the business community stranded because they cannot cross to either side to transact businesses as usual. Let's have the details of this report.
In July, Uganda National Roads Authority suspended the operations of the Wanseko-Panyamur ferry after the water levels at its docking pier at the Wanseko landing site drastically fell and could not allow its effective landing. The ferry bridges towns like Hoima, Chigorobia, Masindi, Biso, Bulisa, Chikube and Wanseko in the Bunyoro and the Albertine region. Panyamur, Dei, Pakwach, Nebi and Paida. It also linked Alua in the West Nile and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The former vibrant business town is now currently deserted. However, the suspension of the ferry services has improved boat transportation. Boat transporters in Bulisa and Pakwach have now got the opportunity to transport people that initially used the ferry. The transporters have hiked their transport fares, charging passengers exorbitantly. Currently, passengers have to incur 10,000 shillings to 20,000 shillings in transport costs to move from the Wanseko landing site to their destination. Initially, when the ferry was operational, one would only incur 5,000 shillings. Fred Lukumu, the Bulisa LC5 chairperson, says as a local government, they have lost over 1 billion shillings in the local revenue. This follows the suspension of the ferry services from June 2020. Nora Bijirwa, the Bulisa woman member of parliament, has called on the residents and passengers to be calm as Uganda National Roads Authority fixes the problem.
Our ferry has been one of the transport means to cross over the other side of Panyamur was affected. There was no way the ferry could dock at the shores because of the water bodies. Yes, at one level the water subsided. Government tried to make sure that at least the ferry system is instated, but still now we cannot be able to do that. I want to tell the people of Bulisa and the neighboring districts that this is a temporary situation. Water transport looks like any other means of transport that will just devise ways and means of crossing over. Government, through UNRWA, is making sure that they bring materials to be able to make the ferry to be able to cross over the other side. Because what's happening is that they are trying to ferry stones from Upper Bulisa, that's Kihongi and the rest of the sub-counties, Upper Bulisa, to fill the route that was originally a way for the ferry for proper docking. So let's allow government time, UNRWA and Ministry of Works, to ensure that a lot of work is done and appropriate work indeed, that we can be able to reinstate the operation of the ferry. I know how hard it is for our businessmen and women, especially the fishers, to be able to transport goods to the other side, and even normal transport. I mean, I'm coming from Wanseko, I want to cross over the other side. The easiest way is to cross over the ferry because it takes a short time. But we have to be patient because government is not just seated, it is doing its best to reinstate the ferry transport. And I believe that in the shortest time possible, we shall be able to move again on the waters.
The RDC added saying that it's under maintenance, which is unavoidable.
Ferry is affecting business, especially between the two districts of Bulisa and Panyamur, that is the Pakwach district. You know, there is a mechanism that for every locomotive thing, like if this is vehicle, if you drive it for 5,000 kilometers, it is supposed to be serviced. So it's not that it is intended to fail the operations of the ferry, but a ferry is a heavy locomotive that requires servicing, and when they are servicing it, it takes a long time. So I know people of Bulisa and Pakwach and even beyond, they are affected so much because of because it's not operating.
Uganda National Roads Authority officials have pitched camp at the Wanseko landing site, constructing a new docking pier for the ferry. An official from Uganda National Roads Authority spoke to Smart 24 TV on condition of anonymity and said repairing a new docking pier will last more than 3 weeks and beyond.
That's regarding the Panyamar ferry, the operations which have been suspended due to the rising water levels. You know, it's been ferries quite do so many things. If you've actually gotten a chance to board the ferry, when you own there are quite so many luggages that are put there, and also vehicles that are carrying luggage, crossing it from one place to the other. For this case, it's been between that's Bulisa and Pakwach, or what we know as Panyamo, those operations, and of course that has resulted to the increment in the transport fares, affecting the business between those two places, those two districts that tread amongst each other. And of course the rising water levels, as if you know, you're well conversant, they're quite dangerous to the operations of any ship or any water vessel that moves along a water body to cross over to other places. And now let's cross over to the leather industry, leaving that alone. And of course we always on Smart Means Business, we always look at a business, any business, and we examine it regarding profitability challenges and also a way forward to ensure profitability and prosperity. And now today we look at the leather industry, as leather is one of the most traded products globally. That's with the export value of hides and skins exceeding $5 billion. And we are talking about yearly or annually. The industry generates an incredible amount of leather and goods that are used by millions of people that's around the world every day. The leather industry covers the preservation of the raw hides after the slaughterhouse and the tanneries, and also which process the new skins to durable leathers. Today we examine the leather industry, finding out the profitability, the challenges, and also a way forward to ensure profitability. Let's have the report. Africa and Uganda in particular are the center of the booming leather industry as key suppliers of hides and raw materials. The future of the leather industry in Uganda and East Africa is in complete value addition in the leather chain. Leather is one of the most traded products globally, with the export value of hides and skins exceeding $5 billion annually. The most popular hides are from cows, sheep, goats, and pigs. The most popular products are shoes, clothing, bags, belts, and upholstery. When it comes to making leather, it takes at least a year for a cow to mature large enough to create a skin large enough for a large panel rather than small pieces of sewn together. The cost of materials needed to process the finished leather product is very costly, as Namagembe Agnes explains.
Namagembe Agnes, operating manager, Shoe Care Center. We are located at Arua Park, shop number 23K. The building is called the Superior Complex. We make shoes, we make go back to school shoes, we make craft shoes, we make gent shoes, we make belts, and most of the things that dealt with leather. So these are the shoes we make, go back to school shoes. Everything you see here is pure leather.
Due to the material's popularity and impressive durability, it's no surprise that the leather industry generates annual revenue of more than $53 billion. This is surprisingly higher than the revenues of coffee, tea, rice, rubber, cotton, and sugar combined. Leather shoes take the top spot for generating 60% of the revenue.
But these days we buy them from Kenya mostly. Being that our factory, which was making our leather in Jinja, stopped some time back. But now we are getting this leather from Kenya.
He further encouraged Ugandans to embrace locally manufactured products under the initiative of Buy Uganda and Build Uganda.
Need for bags, there is need for leather products. We've seen a lot of income that is coming in, especially with the Ugandan made products. people that are producing are paying tax. It might be minimal, but in the long run, this is going to grow, because with the industries that are here, that are trying to add value to the skins, but also adding value to the leather itself, are paying tax. So I believe gradually we are going to see a big contribution of GDP into this economy through the leather industry.
Andrew Alusimbi explains the relevancy of the leather industry to the growth and development of the country's economy.
It would start with us, because yes, we've seen, the policy is there, but it could be there, but it's not working. Why? Because usually when you walk into a supermarket, you would want to pick, you pick a product that you've used before, and usually most people never want to pick the Ugandan made products. But even them, we don't blame them for picking the other products. It is because maybe our products are not up to standard. So if we focus more on business development and we develop our locally manufactured products, it would help to boost that policy.
Uganda has 14.2 million cattle, 16 million goats, 4.5 million sheep, and 47.6 million poultry, and 4.1 million pigs. With a high livestock population, one is forced to rethink the need to import. Leather is one of the most traded commodities. That's of course widely, and of course when you look at the report here, with an annual production of over 18 billion, that's leather. We are talking at it on the global perspective. Developing countries now account for more than 60% of the world's leather, and this population is growing on a daily basis, of course, and Africa has about 15%. Imagine, Africa has about 15% cattle population. You know, when we talk about this, remember most of this leather is gotten from the cow hides, and it's dried up and it's processed back to the factories to ensure that that final product comes out very, very perfect. And of course, that's Africa and Uganda in particular are at the center of becoming one of the leading participators of the leather industry, that's globally. And also, they are the key suppliers of hides and raw materials. That's regarding to this report. The future of the leather industry, particularly in Uganda and East Africa, is incomplete value addition. That's regarding the chain, hence creating many job and employment opportunities. So once this sector is given attention, it has the ability to spur economic growth and activities. And of course, it's one of the most industries that has not been paid attention to by the natives to invest into, but yet there is quite a large potential if you to compare the animals that we have in Africa, and of course cattle. We have quite large herds of cattle, and some of these are owned by individuals. And of course, that shows you the rich stability what Africa contains in order to compete on the global market. It all needs to be value added and exported to those countries for more transactions. And of course, as we wind up the recap, let's take a look at the nutrition business. With the increase in prices of essential commodities comes deficiency of essential nutrients in the body. Nutrition in Uganda has been neglected for a long time. But however, if not addressed, it will force the government to spend loads of money to counter the problem. Let's have the details.
Malnutrition is a serious condition that occurs when a person's diet doesn't contain the right amount of nutrients. According to reports, the consequence of food nutrition is on the economic productivity of Uganda between 2006 and 2016 is projected at $920 million, about 1.9 trillion shillings. The main nutrition deficiencies are iron deficiency, $380 million and $150 million for iodine, and $390 million for stunted growth. This is because of the loss of physical products and the loss of the ability to compete due to lack of the right IQ. When all these are combined, the country loses an estimated 6.2 trillion shillings, which is closed. However, a frequent visit to a nutritionist can help moderate deficiency issues and help one work to their most potential.
10 parameters we do if you come to like a nutritionist or a medical personnel. First, it's called the nutrition status assessment. So what we can do is we can do physical signs, like we tell the professional tells that maybe you have pale hair, or maybe you lack enough blood, so you're looking pale, so things like that. Then we move forward to confirm what we are doing. We confirm through like lab work, or we can confirm through, like, we call it anthropometry. We take measurements, your height, your weight, and refer it to the references. If you are lacking somewhere, then we can diagnose and say you are underweight, you are overweight. Yes. Malnutrition in its general sense is you're either taking too much of a certain nutrient or little. So you can have the over nutrition, and you can have the undernutrition. Yes. So for the over, it's when you have excess of what is required. For example, that's like obesity and overweight. Then if we have the undernutrition, which is mostly the one people know, we have the underweight, the wasting, the stunting. Yes. The necessary amount of money, you can't be able to purchase the right foods. Or if you have restricted income, even the diet is also restricted. So if we normally recommend having like maybe 5 to 6 servings of fruits and vegetables, but if you're not well enough or you're not able to get that money, then you might find that the person is only just taking 1 or 2, or even not at all. Yes, so money does affect nutrition, negatively and positively.
Smart 24 TV reached out to a nutritious business owner and nutritionist who informed us about the alternative products for consumers to keep a balanced diet. Carol, the nutritionist, explains how there is a low consumption of fruits in a country known to have plenty of fruits.
Oats, pumpkin seeds, whole grain wheat, roasted sweet corn, soya, amaranth, those are the seeds. We make sure that we get quality seeds, quality grains from farmers. We clean them properly. We follow all the procedures. We follow all the standards that are put in place by UNBA.
Fortunately, if the biggest part that we need the fruits and vegetables, sadly, we don't eat it that much. Why we need it in big chunks is the body needs to fight illnesses, the cough, the flu. And when we go to the restroom, we are losing part of the nutrients, because unfortunately most of them in the fruits and vegetables are water soluble. That means if you sweat, you're losing. Yes. For carbohydrates, if I can expound more, these are the ones that give us energy, what we call food emere. Then the proteins is what we normally call as sauce, the fish, the chicken, plus also other products like eggs, milk, all that is protein. Then lastly, the fruits and vegetables, the biggest part. Yes.
As regarding the nutrition business, you can see that there are quite a vast number of businesses out there that people are earning money from, and being a nutritionist, and this is a service that you give out to the people out there. But also, looking at the side of the consumer right there, it's very important to take into consideration of what you consume today, because it might have long-term implications. Just a little bit of sense here. You can imagine that we consume so many things on a daily basis, but at the end of the day, do you ask yourself a question, how does my body respond to this? Because at the end of the day, it's going to have long-term impacts, and they have a financial cost to that. You find that you'll have to take this medicine, you have to take this, but simply because you didn't take notice of your nutrition habits at a young age. And of course, that's it for the recap. I'll be right back to take you through the press brief, of course, the international news, and also the business quotes and inspirations right there. Thanks for staying with us on Smart 24 TV. Good morning. Stick around.